Hello friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you're enjoying the instruction that I'm giving you. So today I'm going to be talking about practicing. So we're almost at the new year, and maybe one of your resolutions is to develop a better practice routine. So that is what I am here to help you with. First of all, we make time for things that are important to us, right? If you are really dedicated to working out, you will do anything to make that happen. You will wake up early. You'll go to bed a little bit later. And the same thing is true with practicing. You really have to make it a priority, a non-negotiable in your daily routine. I always plan out my weeks and days ahead of time, which I think is super helpful. A really good concept is time blocking. So you can block out your day with what you're going to be doing at each specific time. So really setting aside specific time each day beforehand when you're going to practice is key. I also recommend trying to practice at the same time every day. That way it really becomes a habit. For students, I recommend trying to practice at the same time as your lesson, if at all possible. This works especially well with, younger students who really need that routine again. I would also recommend chunking, so not doing all of your practice at once. I would break it up into at least 2 sessions, if at all possible. That way it just keeps your brain fresh. So make practice a priority, schedule in your practice ahead of time, and divide up your practice into 2 chunks if possible. Now, here's something that I think is very overlooked when it comes to practicing. Set goals. For every practice session, you should have 2 to 3 clear goals that you want to make happen during that session. And these goals should be very specific and limited to one thing. So it can't be like, perfect page 5. Like, what even is that? Pick like 3 lines. Say, I want to improve my intonation in lines 2 through 3. I want to improve my bow stroke in line 6. Something like that. Very specific, manageable goals. If you make your goals too big, you're not going to be able to accomplish them, and then you're not going to feel good about yourself, and you're not going to want to keep practicing. So if anything, start with really small goals, things that you know that you can do. Maybe even it's just a measure. Say, I'm going to improve my intonation in this one measure, And as you feel good about accomplishing these goals, it will snowball, and you'll be able to accomplish bigger and bigger goals in your practice session. Next, write these goals down. I recommend having like a practice notebook or a practice journal where you write down your goals and then write down, how it went, if you accomplished them. I also recommend writing down any notes from your lesson in this notebook so that you know exactly what your teacher said, because, sometimes it's easy to forget. Also highly recommend recording your lessons if at all possible. Now, let's talk about the actual practice session. You want to make sure that you're not too tired, that you're not hungry, so that your mind isn't wandering. You really want to keep your mind engaged at all times. And we have kind of a short attention span, I know. So a really good thing that you can try in your practice is rotating between 2 or 3 passages at once. So say you're practicing a passage and you notice your mind is wandering, go on to the next passage and just keep switching so you really keep it fresh. I also recommend standing up when practicing if possible, just so that you can keep a good posture. It's really easy to slouch when we are sitting down. At the end of the practice session, record yourself. Evaluate yourself. Did you accomplish these goals? Do you maybe need more time? Do you maybe need to cut the goal into a smaller chunk? Say you wanted to do 2 lines, maybe you only got through 1 line, or maybe you only got through 2 measures, and adjust your goals for the next day accordingly. Recording yourself is so important, because when we're practicing, we tend to let things go, right? And sometimes we don't even, like, it sounds different under our ear than it does when we are recording yourself. So what I do is I record myself at the end of the practice session, but I don't listen to it until the next day. Because when you listen to it, like right after you recorded it, you're thinking about, oh, this could have been better, this could have been better, right? And you're just being really, really overly critical. If you listen to it the next day, obviously there's still going to be things that you want to improve, but I can probably guarantee you that it's going to sound better to you than it would have if you just listened to it like right after you recorded it. That's been my experience anyway. Probably the most important thing is don't give up. There's always going to be days where we have bad practice. There's always going to be days when things get in the way, unexpected things come up and we can't practice, and that's totally and completely fine. The only thing that you need to promise yourself is that you will not quit. No matter what happens, no matter the setbacks, I will not quit. So those are my top tips for practicing. Make it a priority. Plan it ahead of time. Plan it into your day. Practice in at least two chunks. Practice at the same time every day. Set clear goals for yourself. Have a practice notebook where you can record these goals. Really make sure that your mind is engaged while you're practicing. Record yourself, evaluate yourself, and just never give up. Cheers to a new and better year in 2021. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.